All right. Oh, welcome everyone at home. It's sunny after the storm. It's like the craziest weather I ever seen in Canada. In 1 hour, it changes from sunny to stormy to snowy. Beautiful. It showed probably on our wavelength. So today class, very exciting. We are in class number 9. Good to see you all. There is nothing to repeat from last class because last class was about questions and answers. So pretty much we went through all what we've learned. I think it was very nice to wrap it all together. Yeah, it was a good class. So tonight class is going to be how when we change our thoughts, we change our destiny. So many scientists, neuroscientists start talking about how our thoughts affect our reality. Yeah. So the thought, according to Kabbalah, it's pretty much the seed that generates from within everything that will come later on. So the thought is the first thing. So you would say even the consciousness is before thought, isn't it? Because the quality of your thought will be according to someone's consciousness, isn't it? But you know, the closer to understand what consciousness really is usually what are the different patterns and the thought that we're working with, what we focusing on, what we possessed by, how much of the thoughts are repetitive. So it's known that we have many thoughts on a daily basis, isn't it? Do you know about how many thoughts? There are different kind of calculations, but do you have an idea how many thoughts we have per day? Yeah. Dispenza says 60,000, but I checked it out. So most of the people say between 6,000 to 10,000 thoughts a day. Can you imagine? It's a mass of info going on. So many things in this small, tiny cube. That's running and bombarding us, and if we don't have any control over it, well, you see, that's why people get crazy. So the idea is, do we have control? Can we control? Or, as it's appeared to be, the thoughts that we have are the thoughts that we have yesterday. It says 90% of the thoughts that you have today, you most likely thinking yesterday. And the day before, and the day before, which means, in a way, we're running on a loop of being and living the past. And that's a very sad story, that we've been giving life full of unlimited ways to experience it, but we're running over and over on the same thought patterns, on the same limited beliefs, and we live them day after day, none of that. So we create our own reality, which is the reality of living in the past. So can we get out of that loop? That's the biggest question. And it's not an easy answer, and it's not something that can take in an instant. It's something that will require a lot of pain, because the neuroscientists found out that the moment you think in a certain patterns, and it's causing certain emotions, it's producing certain chemicals in the body that the body is in need for them. Meaning that if the body constantly needs those reactions that we have, and the manufacture of all those chemicals that we provide them in, how can the body will let us really go out of the old behaviors? Yeah? How? That's the biggest question that we have. So they say that we have two types of intelligence inside us, and we've been talking about it. Hello? So there is one intelligence that is vibrate through the desires of the body. So what we said the body desire most of the time, Daniel, remember? What the body desires? Yes. But again, when you break it down to something selfish, what could be selfish desires? So they say that the body is run by the 5 senses, and it will focus constantly in his what we call survival mode, to avoid pain and to get as much pleasure as possible. That's how the body intelligence runs. The survival mechanism of the body, I want to avoid pain and I want to get as many pleasurable events in my life, experience in life as possible. And I will do anything. So if those chemicals that are released through certain negative patterns, victim patterns, whatever I'm experiencing that connecting to lack and already the body is addicted to it, the body rather have the comfort of receiving those chemicals instead of changing to something which is unknown to it. Because going to the unknown is usually very painful. Do you agree? Yeah, going to the unknown is full of surprises. I have zero control of what's going to be. So that's the intelligence of the body. Now we know that there is intelligence of the soul. Now the soul is exactly the opposite of the body. The soul is all about the desire to share, to impart, because it's spark of the Creator. So it's all about, I'm here to experience. I'm not afraid of anything. Any given moment, any unknown situation, send me here, send me there. I'm about sharing. That's what the soul tells the body. The body doesn't listen. But the body is constantly, as has been said here, it's about the selfish desires, about me. What is in it for me? And what is in it for me? Are you going to give me pleasure? Are you going to take care of me that I'm not going to feel so much pain? Yes, I'm in. The body say, I'm in. So the question is, who is in control? Who is giving the messages to this computer what to think? And my thoughts are according to the intelligence of the body that experience all its experiences through the five senses, or listening to the soul. And that's where, when the thoughts connected more to the soul, that's where consciousness can be elevated. Yeah? So when someone does things that hurt himself and hurt others, doing reckless, selfish things, that he doesn't see the consequences of them immediately, it means that he's unconscious. He's not aware of what he's doing. He's not aware that his thought is sick. It's causing him to be sick long term. He doesn't realize that. Are we good so far? So that means that I'm not aware. It means that my consciousness is not really seeing the consequences of my actions and my thinking. I'm not aware. So everything is in a robotic, automatic survival mode mechanism. That's how it works. So again, in order for us to get off of this loop of thinking the same thought, producing the same emotions, experiencing the same thing over and over, life become routine, life become robotic. I'm constantly creating myself the routine that I feel safe, that any predator won't hurt me from the outside. I won't get hurt. I've been hurt enough when I was a child, when I was more naive, when I was more trusty with the world, and I no longer want to feel the same feelings. So I will try everything in my power to create an environment for me that it feels safe and pleasurable. Making sense? Okay. So this is the vicious cycle of living in the past and worrying about the future. So we said everything starts with a thought. So you see on the top, a bit to the right, is our thoughts. So our thoughts produce feelings. Eventually, it's going vice versa because we're feeling one way. Also, our thoughts will, let's say if I feel something like in panic, so it will produce also thoughts around this panic, fear, and different things that happens to me. So feelings turn into behaviors into experiences. Mood, someone says I have a mood, I have a mood, something happened to me yesterday, 3 days ago, 1 year ago, and it's keeping me in the same mood. Which means I'm stacking on one experience and it's causing me to be constantly bitter or angry about it, or frustrated. I cannot read of it. I cannot let it go. So it's become a mood, okay? And then it's become an attitude. Yeah, an attitude to life. So people know me as this is the personality of this. This is the attitude of that person. This is the personality. How we think, and how we act. And then eventually this is our personal reality. It means so, from a thought, going through this cycle, eventually will get me into a reality. It means thought creates reality. Thought eventually will create reality. Because everything starts from here. And if this is already coming from lack, if this is coming from the survival mechanism, if this is coming from I need to protect myself and I really don't want to be in unknown situations, eventually my reality will be in a certain way. We're not judging it's good or bad, but definitely it's going to create a limited reality. It's limited reality. So look what the Kabbalists explain to us. So that's another way to look at it. From the point of how we can change the events. Because we all constantly receiving vibrations that happen. They happen from the people around us. Right now, things start to be emotional from what I say, from what your experience, from your own judgment. So we constantly get triggered. Yeah? What is the trigger? It could be anything. Could be one phone call, could be someone in the street, could be bad news that I heard. It could be waking up tired and suddenly I'm not in the mood. Yeah? Could be so many things that can trigger me. And we have constant triggers wherever we are. Even if we decided to stay put at home in our safe zone, I promise you, there are things going to trigger you. What are the things can trigger us when we are alone at home, just by ourselves? Give me examples. Things that happen, suddenly happen. What could happen at home that can really annoy me and trigger me? What? What do you think could happen at home? Nobody else there, or just me. I'm going and open the fridge. And suddenly I want to take the milk and it's falling out of my hands to the floor and it's spilling. Would it trigger you?
Or somebody finished it?
Or some if you have a partner there, yeah. You say, oh, why they put it back? It's empty. Yeah, it's happened to me too.
I mean this with a lot of love, but I'm feeling triggered by the static.
Yeah. You know how to take it down? Yeah, I hear it, I know. One. Yes, it's better.
It's better there?
I hope. Is it better? Yeah, it's better.
Kind of pros and cons.
Yeah, I don't want to trigger you because then it's going to lead you to a personal reality and I don't want you to be reactive. Good. So it's a very good example. So you see, wherever we are, even with ourselves, trying to fall asleep, and we can get triggered by a thought of fear even, can trigger us. And it can be some kind of a roller coaster, just us laying in the dark in our bed, and it can lead to some kind of an anxiety, isn't it? It happens. So trigger could be anything. So what it's going to activate is what we call the reactive feelings, okay? So something that triggered me can either awake anger, can awake fear, can awake insecurity, can awake judgment, can awake jealousy, yeah? So, someone can have like this amazing family, amazing job, amazing income, amazing everything. So what, he doesn't get jealous? What do you think? If everything is amazing, why should he get jealous? It's a good question, no? You know where he's going to get jealous? When he thinks someone has more than him. Will it happen somewhere? For sure. So the opportunity to be jealous is depends to how much exposure you have to more successful people, more people that you think have more than you. But it's nonsense. Okay, so the reactive feeling will awaken thoughts. Now, when we talk about a bad experience, a trauma, a negative reaction, my thoughts going to come from the voice of the opponent. What is the voice of the opponent? What the voice of the opponent constantly tells us? Huh? Doubt, good. Doubt, fear, lack. I'm not good. Judging myself or others. Okay, so this is the triangle. Getting triggered, feeling and emotion get awakened. Thoughts. Now thoughts will trigger more and create more feelings. So it's constant. So we can definitely go on this snowball effect till we're going to have panic attack just by ourselves. You understand? This is what, if you continue on that triangle constantly, it's a panic attack. That's how it is. So with explanation, let's say my daughter acted out of control, reactive feeling, I got fear, caused me to be in panic. The voice of the opponent tells me she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it, that's I'm blaming her, or I'm the worst mother. Okay? So this is like an event that can take place. This is what happened to us all the time. Something, an event will trigger us, we're going to feel something, and then the opponent will speak to us in some way that will limit our experience, seeing the bad instead of the opportunity. That's the point. That's what the opponent, because we cannot avoid triggers, by the way, impossible. We can little by little start to have more control on our reactions, truly, and because we control on the reactions, the way we say, when you're about to react, pause, and said, what an opportunity. So what an opportunity is understanding that this is the unknown, but I know that it's meant good. I know that everything that's going to envelop from that trigger sent by the Creator and meant to bring me goodness. So I'm here really to extract what is the goodness behind this thing. The opponent will tell you, no, this is to show you that things that you are bad, that the world is bad. We fall into it all the time. Do you agree? Anyone wants to give me an example of trigger, reactive feeling, voice of the opponent? Something that happened to you today. What triggered you? What was the feeling that was awakened? And what the opponent told you? Micah, you had something today with the dogs?
Walking here, I had pedestrian rage as I was coming here. I was walking across the street and some guy didn't stop for me, and I think I called him an a-hole or something, and then I kept walking. He triggered me because he almost hit me and I had to stop and I had the right of way. But then I was thinking to myself, like, why did I even have an outburst like that? It was just unnecessary.
So you pretty much blamed him for the whole situation. He's the bad guy pretty much. Yeah, he's the a-hole. Did he hear that, by the way, when were you loud?
Yeah, he did.
Did he react?
Yeah, and then he stopped the car, and then I thought he was going to get out, and then I thought it was going to like escalate, but then I just kept walking, and then that was it. It was just a dumb thing.
Good, very nice example. All right, good. Anything online?
No.
Okay. So the Rav, our teacher, our beloved teacher, that created this course for us, says that consciousness is everything. Everything else that you see is just the byproduct of our consciousness. Everything that we see is not necessarily truthful. It's so much and behind reflecting to our experience in life, to our traumas, to our tikkun, to our past lifetimes. So everyone see and experience the world differently, even if in the same room. Watching the same teacher, everyone listens, hears, experiencing something a bit different. Why? Because it's a reflection and it's get analyzed through my thoughts, to my consciousness, through my veils. So how I can remove the veils, how can I open, and how can I be aligned more with the consciousness of the soul? That's the biggest question. So consciousness, it is the thoughts I'm buying into. That's my consciousness. If I believe that humanity in general is vicious, this is my consciousness. If my experience of life and my belief that I'm not worthy, that's where my consciousness is. And according to that, that's how my reality going to unfold. All right? So consciousness is the beliefs I believe in, the thoughts that I believe in. So now, if we look at it again, trigger reactive feelings, thoughts, the voice of the opponent. So what if I don't believe the opponent? The opponent is a very good salesperson. He is coming to the logic mind and he's telling us, he's proving us that that according to what I experience in life, it's okay to feel selfish. It's okay not to desire to do good to others. It's okay not to trust. He's giving us all the amazing excuses why not to do that. Yeah? But imagine yourself that if I don't believe the opponent and I believe more to the other side of me, which is the soul, and I'm constantly trying to bridge. No, that's the opponent, the voice of the opponent tell me, shut down, don't share, don't be there for others, judge, be jealous, take a step back, be passive, don't initiate, don't be proactive, and so on and so on and so on. So, but if I don't believe that voice, and I try to listen to this very low voice of the soul that say, go for it, take a chance, go to the unknown, start a new relationship. If you're not happy in this job, don't be afraid, go and look for a better job. And so those voices inside of us that are super uncomfortable, that are and we know that they're going to be very painful when we take upon actions, but that's the voice of the trust, knowing that the creator of my soul wants me to experience greater things, not to stay in this limited place. The opponent, which is lead to the ego just wants to shrink my reality. That's what ego does. Shrink my reality to the point I'm focusing just on me. I don't see my connection to the divine, my connection to other people, my connection to the world. It's all about me. So every time the voice of the opponent appears, if I want to examine if this is the opponent of my soul, because it's very hard to differentiate sometimes, because as we say, the excuses of the opponent are very logical. So I need to ask, how does it help me? How does it hurt me? Thinking this way. Okay? So let's take it as a short workshop. Take pens and paper. Try to take like a an important event in your life where you were triggered, and try to put together what were your reactive feelings, and then what was the limited voice of the opponent. Okay? What was the limited voice of the opponent? What the thoughts patterns that it led you, the beliefs, the consciousness you were. And ask yourself, how does it help you? How does it hurt you? All this cycle, from trigger to thoughts. And then try to journal, retrospect, to what your soul will tell you to do. What would be the voice of the soul in that case? What would you do different if you listen to your soul? Okay, any examples? Who wants to share with us what they found out with the mic?
Yeah, so a trigger I had was like a few months ago. I had like a bad argument with like my best friend pretty much. And because we're both stubborn and ego-driven, we just stopped talking to each other for a long time.
Wow.
And we've been friends our whole life, like talking every day. And so, yeah, so we had this argument, and then it was just radio silence for like 3 months. So that was the reactive part, just like, you know,
Shutting down,
screw
not
him,
talking.
I'm right, he's wrong, I don't like how he behaved, so I'm not gonna talk to him. And the onus is on him to apologize to me, because I'm the one who feels let
So
down.
let's say
and then time went on, and then we eventually worked it out, because I think my soul's voice did start talking.
But wait a second, let's try to identify
Yeah.
what your opponent told you when it happened. So the reactive feelings cause you to
Yeah, anger,
eventually
resentment,
not talking to one another.
resentment, feeling that I was disrespected, and
Beautiful.
Just-
Okay.
reactive feelings, and then just saying, screw him,
Yeah.
I don't need him. And then we didn't talk for like quite a long time.
And what's the voice of the opponent told you?
Yeah, the voice of the opponent was, you don't need him in your life, he's bad energy, no. I'm trying to rationalize it, but like deep down I felt bad about it, because like I've known him my whole life. So that was probably an example.
Nice. Very good. So what would your soul say?
Well, yeah, well then after like a period of time, yeah, I just had this like inner voice that was saying, you know, this isn't right. And actually it was a friend of both of us, who kind of came in at the right time, because he called him and then he would call me, and he could tell that there was some like friction between us. And so he ended up sort of acting as like the go-between, sort of the mediator, to like bring us back together. So he played an important role.
You probably wouldn't be able to do it by yourself.
Yeah, possibly. I got to work on being
But
stubborn.
now if you were listening to your soul, how would you handle this situation differently?
Well, pause, right? Take a breather, don't react, think through it for a period of time, breathe, and then
Apologize maybe?
try to think through, put myself in the shoes of him, and see if there's any mistakes I made. and then try to resolve it between us.
All right, that's good. That's very good. Anyone? Michael?
So, oh, it is on. So this happened earlier this week. I'm a dog walker, and I was walking a new dog, a husky, and they tend to be very wild. And so I put him in my van, and he jumped out. And I was in a new neighborhood that I didn't know, and essentially this dog has no recall. I couldn't get him back.
Wow.
And I'm freaking out. I'm right near Avenue Road, lots of traffic, and I also have on leash another dog that's 160 pounds, and I'm running with it next to me, and it's pulling me, and I have to go catch this husky. My thoughts are just crazy. My brain is going 100 million miles an hour. I'm just I'm such an idiot. What was I thinking? Why can't I pay attention? How did I lose this dog? It's for a new client, and they're very wealthy. I was just I'm going to lose my life over this dog. And I'm sprinting down the street, having all these thoughts, borderline tears, and in such a panic. And the dog, I'm watching the traffic on Avenue Road, vroom, 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 all the cars go, and he's going to get killed. What am I supposed to do? I can't catch him. It's a dog. And this old man, the house before Avenue Road, I don't know where he came from. He came out of nowhere. And the dog just stopped in a full sprint right in front of him. And the guy just, leaned down, grabbed the leash, and got him. And and so if I'm going to go to the thoughts of my opponent, I think my reaction was warranted in the moment that I was chasing this situation, but it was the thoughts afterwards, it threw my whole day off. I was just out of sorts, panicked. The feeling kind of went on even after the situation was resolved. It was very traumatic for me. I was so stressed, and I didn't pause to think and just breathe. Whew. That's all. That reaction is just stuff that's still inside of me. Even though it is justified that I had a big reaction and I was scared, that is still all stuff that is inside of me, and that's why I had those thoughts. And it took me almost 2 days to calm down and realize that, oh yeah, that's my own juice getting squeezed.
Tell me, so what do you think your soul would tell you to do in this situation?
Well, what I'm saying now is to realize that that's my juice being squeezed, and all that panic and anxiety and that fear is inside of me, and it took a situation like that for me to realize that, because I wasn't really aware that I could even be in that state of panic without that event.
But remember those two questions, because it's a good example to understand. How does this panic state help you? You understand? Did it really help you in any ways to get the dog?
The panic state didn't help me at all.
Exactly.
No.
How did it hurt you? You carry it for a couple of days. This experience. That's how it hurt you.
It hurt me for the future afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would your soul decide to do differently?
I don't know. It happened so quickly.
Sure. No one to judge or blame. I don't know if I would act differently. I'm taking kids to school.
When this dog is running towards oncoming traffic, I'm not going to go, oh, pause, what an opportunity. You have to be in action and go get that, right? So I don't really know how else
But again,
I
with
could
what
have reacted.
mode, with the mode of certainty that things will be okay, with the mode of control, saying, I know I will get him back, That could be a better experience, yeah?
Yeah.
Because definitely your survival mechanism was activated, So this is the way you reacted this way. But now I know it's not an easy task to do when something like that happened. But if we're trained enough and say, okay, now let's say it's happened again, would you react a bit different? Maybe less panic?
I think that the effect of the panic afterwards would not be so long, not 2 days of being out of sorts. To come back to to come back to a more calm state faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe saying, okay, I know there is a supervision from the cosmos over me that's going
That's
to
how it felt.
that's going to sort this thing out.
Yeah.
So now you know, because it was kind of a miracle.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So can I activate the word of miracle again? Is it necessary to activate only to being in panic? Not necessarily. That's the point.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You understand?
I understand. Yeah.
But a miracle happened.
Like a miracle happened, but it
took
wasn't
care
because of the panic.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? So that's the point. Something from
Online. So,
Felix spoke about the road rage when he becomes angry on driver's behavior, and he says like it doesn't help me. He knows it, and it is distracting me from driving, making me stressed. And the driver just cut me off very dangerously, almost creating an accident, which made me angry. But I know there is nothing that I can do, and being angry at him will not help me either.
so what the soul would say?
Felix, can you share with us what your soul would say? Let it go.
Let it go. Beautiful. Let it go. Like you could have done that with the guy that almost ran into you.
The Beatles song, says Daniel.
Okay. So this is spiritual rule number 8 that we're learning. I'm here to transform myself and nobody else. Because usually every time we are reactive, it's all related to how I can transform either the external or either the other person. I'm concerned by the behavior of other person. Yes? So what is really anger? Anger is feeling the pain of somebody else. Ventilation. Yeah? So because somebody else did something, I got angry. So what is spiritual tool number 8? Transforming my thoughts. When I'm constantly looking to transform my thoughts, that's how my life going to start to change. All my patterns will shift. All my belief system will shift. This is the only thing that if I focus on, nothing from the external need to be changed really. It's not in my responsibility. What I need to change is the way I thinking about the reality, the way I'm experiencing the reality. And then the reality starts to change. Because we say, you see, Micah see the reality in one way, Daniel see the reality. It's the same reality. We're all in the same room. Why? Because it's related to where I'm coming from. So as much as I'm elevating more of my consciousness, I'm connecting all the dots that in stake, I'm seeing a bigger picture, understanding the bigger picture. So if Daniel understood that he has some kind of a correction from past lifetime with this driver that almost ran him away, and it was kind of paying debt for something, say, okay, smile, thank you, bye, done deal. Who knows, you made a closure that you've been waiting for years. You understand? Because you know better. It's not about what just happened. It's more about the big picture. So as much as I have more data in terms of understanding how this world works, I'm going to be less reactive to this. I'm more in control. So through my thoughts, I can control the reality. That's the whole point. Through my thoughts, I'm going to bring myself to a place where I'm in total control. That's where we're supposed to be eventually. The idea of restriction is to bring myself not to be reactive. I'm in control of situation. Why? Because I know better. I have much more understanding about my world. That's what's consciousness. Consciousness is when wisdom became a reality to me because I believe in it. So imagine yourself, you adapt all this course that we learned, but you adapt it to that level, it's already part of your consciousness. Meaning that we cannot react the same way that we reacted to everything else. But, as we said, because we're addicted to past behavior, it's not easy to undo all of those addictions. Take time, take a lot of practice. And that's the reason it's so painful to change. So painful to change. It's that painful to change that we rather stay the same. And when change it's really happen, when changing is less painful than remaining the same. When remaining the same becomes so painful that we feel that we facing the wall already, that's life sometimes get us to that place, that's the moment of change. That's the moment of change. That I realize that I rather go through the pain of change than remain with that pain of remaining the same. But again, if I realize before it's chaotic, if I realize before things get so chaotic, because feeling so much pain being the same could be sometimes with lots of trauma already. So why should I start doing it before? As a prevention medicine, not as a treating like something so painful that if I won't treat it, I know that I'm going to suffer all my life. That's the point.
Are we going back in time?
Traveling in time to Kabbalah 2. So when are we starting Kabbalah 2?
April 3rd on Wednesday.
So April 3rd on Wednesdays, we're going to continue Kabbalah 2 online and in person. Beautiful. So we know that Kabbalah 2, it's more about understanding the layers of the ego that are inside of us. What we actually personally going through. What are like the different layers of ego that are more related to our own experience. We talk generally in Kabbalah 1. Now we're going to focus more how it can relate it to us personally on every day. So also we're going to have the party of Purim. All of you are invited. It's a beautiful time for us to peel off the false identities, because our identities this is our consciousness. And if it's limited and we're not satisfied with where it got us so far, let's take off the masks and become the true self. That's what Purim is all about. Partying, drinking, dancing. This is what we're supposed to be deep inside of us. Yeah.
That's kind of what I was going to ask. I was just going to ask you if you could talk more about Purim, because personally I'm just on the fence of whether or not. I don't know yet. Just like more details.
Yeah, that's
really
what we're getting rid of on Purim. All the doubts, all the skepticism, all the uncertainty, all the logic mind. You know, as much as smart that we think we are in a logic way, it's causing us to be more skeptic with the untangible reality, with the metaphysics. But that needs to be the other way around. You know, many scientists, when they learned so much about physicality, they suddenly came to the conclusion that there must be a metaphysical force that works upon us more than anything. And that's the bridge of Purim, to get rid of the logic mind and to understand that everything is the tree of life. Everything. Any experience, doesn't matter what happened, bitter, soft, love, hard, doesn't matter. It's all serving the same purpose of life, which is to grow, to enjoy, and to be elevated in consciousness. So Purim, it's some kind of a reset to old beliefs, old identities, that creating a lot of veils, that creating the unclarity between me and the divine. As many veils as there are, so but the divine sometimes even doesn't exist for some people. They don't see it. They don't You're going to talk to them, say, what are you talking about? I'm here now, I'm suffering. What are you talking about? Which divine, which angels? Yeah? You tell him the old guy, it's miraculous. Some angel told him, get the leash. He won't understand you. But that's what really happened. If you had this clarity, you see that an angel whisper in his ear, tell him, get the leash, get this dog. He could mind his own business.
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
What was funny about all of that situation with the old guy that saved me was he usually walks the other way. And he told me that for some reason he just decided to turn the corner.
I'm telling you, an angel was
And
speaking to him without him knowing.
Those were his words, yeah. And I was just like holding my head in my hands, like, thank you, God. Like,
Okay, so as much as we more aligned with this reality, things going to go more towards that way. As much as we resisted more, people less connected to the miraculous universe. That's the point. All right? Any questions online here?
No, no questions. Are you going with them?
Yeah, I can go. All right, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. David is coming. So if you have any questions, just please be preparing them. Maybe if you want to send them in the chat. Everyone, if you want and if you can, please turn on your cameras. Let me change my view. If you want, change it to gallery so that so we can see each other. And yeah, David will be right with us. How did you guys like the class?
Very much.
Yes, good stuff. Good
So
stuff.
I have a question about so we still have another lesson on the 27th, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Kabbalah one, Kabbalah 2 will start on April 3rd. So I have a question from a friend. He wants to join the Kabbalah 1, the next
Okay.
one.
Okay.
So when does it start?
Okay, I will send that question. I will send that question.
Because again, he's from Ottawa. He won't be able to be there in person,
Right.
but
Yeah.
on
yeah,
Zoom, it's still
Yes. Yeah,
he's
for
interested
sure.
in that. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I've just asked them so that we can get some information on when.